What's up, everyone? It's Tyler with Mom's Basement MMA. I still laugh at that name. This is the 73rd episode I'm doing, and every time I say Mom's Basement MMA, I still laugh. I think it's hilarious that not only is this like a viable thing, but there are fighters walking around like all over the country like wearing my drip that says Mom's Basement MMA on it. I think it's funny, and we have one more fighter added to the mix. Today I'm talking to the Prodigy, Elvin Espinoza. Elvin, how are you doing, man?
Man, doing great. Excited to talk to you.
I'm
Let's get to it.
excited. I'm excited to talk to you. Tell me a little bit about how your bout against Hope Stewart came about. I know that when you were last out there was on the PFL undercard. Can you talk a little bit about how you got that opportunity to fight him?
Man, so the fight before that, I fought in Mexico for Icon. I was actually supposed to fight for another card for Icon in Las Vegas. It was gonna be in Vegas in like around August. The event I was waiting for, and I got ready for that card. And what ended up happening, the whole event got scratched because of the Las Vegas commission. They didn't let it go through. So I was getting ready for that, and that got canceled. So after that, I was just waiting for different events and opportunities to come. I actually got even offered to fight for Gamebred FC. The money was good. They offered me to fight this guy at 185, bro. It was a 185 fight for bare knuckle MMA. And I really thought about it. I really thought about it because I'm like, it was a guy I probably could have out wrestled and just like held him down and submitted him. But he was like 6'3", and I'm like, man, he's actually kind of good. And there's a big weight difference, He was big weight difference, because at that time they asked me how much am I walking around. So usually I walk around like 185, 190.
Sure.
And at that time I was like 185. They're like, hey, look, can you fight 180, 185 for bare knuckle? And I'm like, damn, I needed the money, so I was like, maybe I'll take the fight. But I ended up didn't do it. Luckily, 2 weeks after, I was actually going downstairs to go get pizza at my job, and my manager calls me, hey, can you make 155 in 2 weeks? I'm like, I don't know, like I'm kind of heavy.
Yeah.
I'm like, how much are we getting paid, and who am I fighting for? And then they told me for PFL, the how much I was going to get paid. I'm like,
I'll make it.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make it happen somehow.
That is
I was in
insane.
fight shape, but I just wasn't heavy. I was just heavy.
That is insane about the Gamebred opportunity. Yeah. That guy that you're fighting.
Yeah, they offered me the opportunity and I took it.
That guy, 6'3", he has to cut to 85. So, like, after he rehydrates, that guy's going to be 200 pounds. Easily. And you still were going to take the fight.
It's funny. They offered me. I think. Yeah, because I was like, man, I know I could out wrestle this guy, even though he's bigger. But it was a risk. It was you actually fought the same PFL I did. Tyler Hill.
Nice.
They offered me him, and I'm like, man, that's a rough fight, but I'll do it for the money. But no, I didn't end up doing it because like I had people like convince me like, oh, it's not worth it. I'm like, you're right.
You are a type of guy that you fought on big cards, the Icon card, Jorge Masvidal. His people know who you are. Like, you've been in this game for a minute, and for the people that really do their homework, they know how good you are. I want to pivot and ask a little bit, like, despite your experience and all of the big promotions that you've been a part of in the past, were there added nerves in the PFL bout? Because I know that was in Hollywood. I know you're a Florida guy. I know that they like to, for some of the undercard fights, bring in local talent. Were there added nerves for that bout, especially going up against a guy like Hope Stewart? Because when you fought him, he had only lost one fight. He was like 5-1 when you fought him.
No, man, I was excited. This was like the fight that I had the least stress. I wasn't nervous in the back. I just wanted to get out there and get it done. I don't know if when you see me walk out, I'm like smiling. I was excited to be there. That's one of the first fights I was actually not nervous.
Not nervous at all.
I was hyped. Like once I saw the light, I thought the lights were gonna scare me and everything, but it wasn't. Nah, not nervous at all. I was excited. That was like the most fun I had, seeing all the lights, because it's one of those. I see it in video games, and I'll make my own character, and I'm like, all right, I can't wait till I come out and they see my name in the big lights, and I got to actually do it, and I was hyped, super hyped.
When you figured out you were going to fight Hope Stewart, there wasn't a lot of time to prepare for this guy. Everything was short. You had to make weight pretty quick. Did you know a lot
Yeah.
about him going into the bout, or did you not even really study him? And
Up. I always look at my opponents. I never underestimate anybody. You
sure.
know, um, I do my homework, man. Like it doesn't matter if it's one day noticing it. I find out everything about you,
Mm-hmm.
like your Instagram, this and that. And a lot of fighters say that, oh no, I don't need to do that, but that's like very like low level to say. Like if you're gonna fight somebody, you gotta fight them 100% like prepared. You know, I watched his fights. I saw what he did. I saw who he fought. But I saw he was very good like grappler. I fought a guy kind of like him when I was an amateur, very like spazzy, like strong.
Yeah.
Good experience, and have good training partners around me.
I think it's one of those things, Elvin, what you were talking about, like stalking people out before you fight them. Like, just being real, everyone does it. Just nobody will admit it. Like, very
Yeah,
few people will actually admit it because this is what you do. This is how you get
yeah,
money.
nah,
Why would you not want to know
yeah,
every
yeah,
single thing you can about your opponent? Like, I get it. Like, everyone's got to downplay it. You get on an interview, you be like, I don't even know who this guy is. It's like, yes, you do. Like, you can go ahead and say that on the show, but
yeah,
once I turn off the record
yeah,
button, I'm gonna be like, bro, come on, like, come on. So I just think it's refreshing that you're like, yeah, man, I did homework on this guy.
yeah.
I didn't want to take him lightly because I know he's a bad dude. When you look back on that fight now, this fight pretty much goes like how all of your fights go. It doesn't last very long. You're able to get him where you want him on the ground. You're able to choke this guy out. When you go back and look at that fight against an opponent of his caliber, are you mostly happy with how the bout unfolded, or are there things that you look at today and you're just like, this is garbage, that was garbage, but I did a couple of things good?
Yeah, there's some things I saw. Like I was going for a judo throw, and I it didn't work because it was next to the cage, and I lost my balance, and that's like he was able to, like get over my back. I was still able to toss him over, but these little things I saw I could have done better. So, but it's like all my fights. I always try to see like what could have done better. Well, how did they do this? Like, why did they do this? So I'm always trying to be better. Even though I didn't get hit that fight, it's just little things, that I could have avoided. He got up when he got up on me. I could have been avoided, but you live and you learn.
So what's next after this? It was a dominant performance. It was on the undercard. It was in Hollywood. You did every single thing that you had to do to put on a good show for them. So what's next for you? Like, is your management talking with PFL? Have you figured out what you're doing for the 22 season? Are you open to kind
Yeah,
of everything? What's going on with you?
but I actually I have a year contract with PFL already, so I'm already signed with them for this next year. So I might be fighting February 18th on the Challenger Series.
Nice.
So that's what I'm waiting for. I'm training for that right now. That's the goal.
I was
Getting
just
ready. I just started camp like this week, so I gotta.
I, I am so glad you mentioned the PFL Challenger Series because I was gonna ask you. I'm like, are you gonna be on that? Because for people who don't know, the PFL Challenger Series is basically PFL's version of Dana White Contender Series. Same, pretty much the same get up. They scout out the best fighters in the country, and whoever wins gets a contract. I kind of just want to. I don't know if I were running the show, like you wouldn't be on that. I'd throw you right in. I'd make you fight Anthony Pettis right away, or Olivier Aubin Mercier. I'd make you fight those guys. Like you're in the tournament, man. Like we're not doing any of that crap.
Yeah. So they want to build me up a little more, and then I guess that's like another way to like still build me like my brand. So that way when I'm in the tournament 2023, have more like of a following and more experience already to go against these higher level guys.
One of the questions I have about the Challenger Series, and maybe you know the answer, maybe you don't, but it struck my curiosity. I'm looking at the format, and PFL is saying Mike Tyson's going to be judging fights, Ray Lewis is going to be judging fights, and like I sit back and I'm like, how are you? How are they able to like judge a fight and it still be sanctioned? How the hell does that work?
That I don't know anything about. I saw that too. I'm thinking they're refereeing like maybe they're judging for like who deserves a contract. You
That would
know,
make sense.
maybe that's what they're judging.
I
But
that would make
I still don't
sense.
know. Yeah, I think they're judging like out of the. So I was thinking there's 8 fight because they said there's 8 fights that night, and then
Uh
one
huh.
contract is given for a week. So I'm guessing the special guests get to pick out who gets to be signed for that contract.
Okay, that would make sense because when I heard judging, I'm like, dude, there's no way you can have football players and boxers call an MMA fight. Like, it's just not possible. Like, that's immediately what I went to. I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't know how I'd feel about this whole thing if I were a fighter. But then again, could they really do that much worse of a job
yeah.
than some of the judges we already have? Probably not. I know you're in South Florida. I know you're in the Miami area and you train at a fifth round MMA. And when I think of Miami and when I think of MMA, there are gyms everywhere. Like some of the biggest and best gyms in the country are in your area. Fifth round MMA, I'm assuming that's a smaller gym. Can you tell me, like, of all the places to train at, like, what is it about that place that's so special, and why are you there as opposed to some of these like huge gyms like American Top Team, et cetera, et cetera?
Hey, I train at 2 different gyms. I train at Round Five MMA and then Bushido Muay Thai. So right now, more it's more family based. Not like everybody's there's like a superstar. Miguel, Miguel Baeza. He's actually from Round Five MMA. So that's his main his first head coach was.
Okay, cool.
So he trains at MMA Masters and Round Five MMA. So Miguel Baeza is one of my training partners.
Yeah,
So
he's pretty
that's
good.
where we train usually. So it's more like one on one. It's us as a group. So it's there, and I've trained at big gyms before. I've trained there with Black Zillions before,
Mm-hmm.
and I've gone to Hard Knocks. I'm that American Top Team too. It's just very right now. When you're coming up, nobody really pays attention to you. So they start paying attention to you when you're at the you're getting at the top. So I don't want to be the one like pushed away or being used as a body.
Yeah,
So right now I'm doing good so far. Being at the smaller gyms.
absolutely. Well,
So
and
since I have a lot of friends that train, I have a couple of friends from those big gyms, from different gyms. I have friends from Sanford, from ATT. I have friends at MMA Masters. So there's times that they'll come train with me, at my gym, or we'll meet up somewhere. So that way, usually go to these big gyms because they have all these bodies. But I'm friends of a lot of people here, so we ended up training together anyways.
and that's one of the reasons, like, why I ask because to your point, at this stage of your career, like, if you go at and not to like throw shade at any big gym, but if you go to a bigger gym, you're probably going to be a body for a Bellator guy or a UFC guy. Like it may be harder to get the time that you need to prepare for yourself.
Yeah, I trained at MMA Masters at one
Yeah.
point.
And did you not like it?
Yeah, I trained at MMA Masters. I trained there for a month, and it was good. It was
Mm-hmm.
just wasn't what I was looking for, and there was guys that I trained with, and I was doing good against them, and they're like UFC fighters and that. But I did the practice. I mean, I did the my fight. I won my fight. This was in my third pro fight when I was fighting for Combat Night. Um, I won my fight, and then after that, I was asking like how much is it? There was very. I asked how much does it cost to train there, this and that, and they ended up hitting me with like a contract. And then they're like, "Oh, you have to train. You have to do a 5-year contract. You pay this much percentage." There was a lot of things that I was not happy with. I'm like, I don't want to do any of that. Like what the contract said. Like I wasn't comfortable with it. So I asked him, "Is that can I pay monthly or something else, or this is it?" And they said, "This is all. This is what we offer: 5 year contract or that." So and I wasn't happy with that because when you come from smaller gym, I still want to like train them the gyms that I came from, and I don't want to push them away. So that's what they kind of want. They kind of like you can only train here and only here, And I cross train a lot, so and that's what helps me. I learn from everybody.
I had no idea that you had to sign a contract with a gym. I didn't even know that was a thing. Like I knew you had to pay like your gym
Some
and
gyms
your.
do that.
I didn't know that. That's insane. I had no idea.
Yeah. Well, that gym did.
So like
And I wasn't comfortable with that.
yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
was a big percentage they wanted, like and at that. Mhm.
So when you're talking about percentage, they want a cut out of your purse, which is normal, right? Like all your coach is your gym, that's normal. You have to pay for that. So like they say, like for example, we want X
Yeah,
percent of your purse.
but it was a big amount,
Yeah,
for and not even that. There were just little things they wanted extra, within the like different like specific hotels, specific things that are just like them, and has to come out of pocket if it's not given. So I just wasn't comfortable with that,
yeah.
and
So
I
they're
just didn't want to do
basically
it.
so the contract was basically like these are the coaches. You're going to bring in our coaches for your fights. This is where you're going to put us up, like that sort of thing.
Yeah,
Wow, that's crazy, man. Yeah, I wouldn't have signed that. Hell no. I'm not signing that.
yeah. I gave it to my manager. Yeah, I gave it to my management to read over it, and then I read over it. A lot of people just sign it because they want a free training. But no, I read everything. like, everything I have to sign, I read over
Yeah, and you probably annoy a lot of people.
it.
Hey,
Yeah,
man, like you need to do what you need to do to protect yourself and make the right decisions for your career. Don't expect anyone else to have your best interests at heart because this is a business, and that's just the fight business has a reputation for being a dirty business, and fighters getting taken advantage of when
yeah,
signing up for stuff they didn't think they were signing up for. So good on you for being a astute businessman. I think that's important, and I think that's a lesson learned for everybody. Can you,
yep, yep.
instead of talking about the business side, can I want to talk about you as a fighter stylistically because as I was saying before, I know you live up to the name the Prodigy. You do. I know you're a beast. I don't know. There's a lot about you though that I don't know still. Like I do know that undefeated professional, you destroy people right away. You're amazing on the ground. You're very, very strong. You choke people out. But it doesn't matter who they put in front of you. You finish them. Like, and all your fights look kind of the same after a while. It's like within the first minute or two, they're down in the ground in a place they don't want to be, and you destroy people. Like, I don't know if I've ever seen anybody at the professional level really test you and like make you dig deep for anything. So I kind of wanted to ask, like, who are you as a fighter? What are parts of your game that you haven't been able to show quite yet because your fights end so soon?
Man, I haven't been able to show my cardio and my escapes. Like I'm good under pressure. So I know like people can put me in submissions, deep submissions, and I'm able to get out. Like I'm comfortable under bad situations. And luckily, I haven't been put in bad situations, but I know I'm good under that. Like under that pressure, and my striking. I haven't been able to use my striking as much. I try to, but if I see a takedown, I'm gonna go for it. There's no reason to put myself under like unnecessary damage if I don't have to.
Right.
But I'm a smart fighter. I try to be smart and um, use all my tools when I have to. But yeah, my mostly my striking hasn't been seen, and like my my cardio. I know I can push that. I can go out 3 rounds if I have to, but it hasn't been pushed that far.
Well, if you
Lucky.
need a coach, I can be your coach because you're probably not going to need me anyway. I'll just stand around. I'll hold the bucket. I'll hold your banner up or whatever. But that's really all you need me for because you're not going to talk to me. Like, you're going to finish somebody in the first round anyway. So I think I got it. I think that's a job I'm qualified
That's the
to.
goal.
Yeah, I think that's a job I'm qualified for. I wanted to ask a little bit about people in general. Like, when people look at you, like, I want to talk about haters for a second. Do people hate on you? Like, do people like talk trash about you? Like, man, this guy looks good on paper, but he fights cans. And Stewart's the only guy that he's fought that's good. Like, I always try to, like, when I look at a fighter that I admire and like, I always try to, like, think about what a hater would say. And if I'm pretending to be a hater, those are the things I bet you've heard before. Why is that wrong?
I do that too. Like I say, cans. They should be able to finish them in the first round. Like you're supposed to. But if
Right.
you're fighting a can and it goes to decision, or they give you a hard fight, then I'm like very suspect of you. Like there's people I've seen that they'll fight cans and they go all 3 rounds, and it's somebody they should have finished in the first round, even though there's a lot of hype behind them.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of people like that like they shouldn't be finishing. They shouldn't be going all 3 rounds of a can, or someone that you're supposed to finish. But if I'm fighting cans and I'm finishing them, it shouldn't matter. I'm doing my job. And I fought hard people as amateurs. I fought a lot of people now that I fought in amateurs are like undefeated or have gone to Bellator. So I've had hard fights,
Trey
and
Waters.
then I haven't even been able to show the people that I do fight if they're bad or not. Yeah, Trey Waters. And me and him are friends now, so we're cool. So we support each other.
He is.
But that's one guy. He's
Yeah,
doing good now. I fought Taiwan Claxton.
he's good. Very good. Did Trey get hacked, by the way?
Yeah. Trey got hacked
Well,
on Instagram.
yeah, I was wondering if he got hacked or something. Maybe it's somebody else. I thought it was him though. Someone like he was like posting
He made a
weird.
new account.
Okay, because he was posting like weird shit about Bitcoin and stuff. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I had to unfollow him because because I was just wondering.
Maybe he did.
I,
Oh,
I mean, I thought it was him, so I was like, man, I don't like. I like Trey. I want him on my show, but I had to unfollow him because he was talking about a bunch of like Bitcoin and weird shit, and I'm like,
damn, maybe, probably. I don't know. I'm gonna go check after this.
yeah, hit him up and ask. And I really want the last question I have for you before I let you go, because I know you're a busy dude. I know that Nicaragua is a really important thing for you. I'm assuming that people from your family are from there or they immigrated over here. You to be a champion in whatever promotion you're with. Like if you're the PFL champion, like I know how important that country is to you. I know you really want to represent it. Like what would it mean for you to be like the first champion from Nicaragua in mixed martial arts?
Man, that'd be the coolest thing ever, because there is a lot of champions from Nicaragua in boxing, but a lot of them are very like communist, or they support like the dictator.
Yeah.
And it sucks because everybody has to like do that when you're in Nicaragua, because if not, they'll like ruin your life over there.
Yeah.
So for me being out here, I can like go against them and be the first like Nicaraguan that's against them, and there's not a lot of Nicaraguans in MMA, and if they do make it, they don't really go that far. So I hope to be that first one, the first MMA world champion, and show that anybody can do it, or in my country too, and it's rough out there. I have family there, and they tell me like it's rough.
Are they able to like watch your fights from Nicaragua?
Yeah, they can watch it. They usually buy the ESPN app and they'll watch it,
Oh,
or
okay.
any of the websites like they stream it. They've been able to watch it. So
Yeah.
not even that, I have a bunch of other people that know me there from Nicaragua, and they follow me on Instagram, and it's cool. Little by little, I'm getting there.
I think that's important, and I hope that people from that part of the world can see this and see you and see what you're able to accomplish. And um, life is full of possibilities, and I know that's a different part of the world. I know,
Yeah.
like I know that they deal with things that like we can't even begin to fathom here in this country, and we're really lucky to live here. But I hope they get an opportunity, and I hope that
Yeah.
people from Latin America can enter into the MMA world, because this is a sport for everybody, and it's only going to be better if more and more people get opportunities. Um, I really appreciate your time this afternoon. And before I let you go, I want to give you the opportunity.
Yeah.
If you have any sponsors or people from your gym or anyone you want to shout out, Elvin, I want to give you the chance to do that before I let you go.
Uh, yeah, man. All right. Shout out to like my gyms, Round Five MMA, Coach Caesar Sergey, Bushido Muay Thai, Manny Ramirez. All my training partners, my sponsors, Fritanga Monibo, Fit for You, uh, Lucia's Cakes, uh, New Lifespan. Yeah, it says New Life CBD. Hmm. I have them written down
It's all
somewhere.
good.
In Vivo, my strength and conditioning gym in Vivo strength and conditioning. But yeah, I know my training partners, my friends that support me, my family, my wife. I just got married a year ago too, so
Oh, well,
we're helping each
congratulations.
other out for this. And yeah, man, I gotta tell you about too. That if you ever want to talk about it, I had like a tumor on my chest before I went pro. I had like a lot of like random injuries before my pro fight too. So that's the next time.
Yes, sir. Well, there will be a next time. You're the man, and I love PFL. And anytime that I can spy up and coming talent, particularly in PFL, got to be on my show. Got to be on my show, because PFL is the most gangster promotion there is out there. It is. So, Elvin, thank you, sir. I really appreciate your time, and I look forward to having you come back, man.
Thank you, man. Have a good day.